Every token your model generates leaves behind a KV cache, and most inference servers throw it away and recompute it later. That waste fills GPU memory fast. At GTC on March 16, 2026, NVIDIA shipped Dynamo 1.0, whose KV block manager offloads that cache to CPU RAM, SSDs, and networked storage. In the next few minutes, we will unpack how tiered offloading and cache-aware routing work, the reported 7x throughput gain, and whether this changes how we should architect serving. Let us start with the core idea behind KV cache, offloading inference. Here are the essentials of KV cache offloading inference in plain language, what it is, and why it was introduced. Dynamo 1.0's KV block manager treats KV cache as a tiered resource, moving blocks off the GPU into CPU RAM, local SSDs, and network storage including S3 and Azure Blob, freeing scarce GPU memory for active work. A KV cache-aware router directs incoming requests to the specific GPUs that already hold relevant cache. Instead of recomputing pre-fill from scratch, traffic lands where the work was already done, cutting redundant compute. Moving cache between tiers and GPUs needs fast transport. NVIDIA's NIXL layer accelerates KV transfer across GPUs and storage backends, keeping offloaded blocks reachable quickly enough that routing to remote cache stays worthwhile. NVIDIA reports that combining tiered offloading, cache-aware routing, and NTXL delivers up to 7 times the throughput on DeepSeek, R1 running on Blackwell GPUs, the headline number from the Dynamo 1.0 GA announcement. Now, let us look at why KV cache offloading inference matters in practice. Here is where KV cache offloading inference shows up in real products, teams, and decisions. Our read: the real shift is conceptual. Once cache lives across RAM, SSD, and S3, serving stops being about fitting everything on one GPU and becomes about routing requests to wherever their cache already sits. We would treat the 7x figure as a best case on a cache-friendly workload. Gains depend heavily on prompt reuse and tier latency, so benchmark your own traffic before assuming anything close to it. Offloading to S3 or Azure Blob frees GPU memory, but adds fetch latency. We expect the interesting tuning to live in deciding which cache stays hot in RAM versus cold in object storage per request priority. If routing now depends on where cache lives, naive round-robin load balancing leaves throughput on the table. We think serving stacks and autoscalers will need cache locality as a first-class scheduling signal. Let us recap the key takeaways on KV cache offloading inference and what to do next. NVIDIA Dynamo 1.0 became generally available on March 16, 2026 at GTC, bringing production KV cache offloading and routing into a supported release rather than an experiment. The KV block manager spans CPU RAM, local SSDs, and network storage like S3 and Azure Blob, so GPU memory is reserved for active computation instead of idle cache. A KV cache-aware router sends traffic to GPUs already holding relevant cache, while NTXL speeds the transfers, together attacking the recomputation that quietly burns inference budget. NVIDIA cites up to 7x on DeepSeek, R1 on Blackwell, but our takeaway is that your mileage tracks how much cache your traffic actually reuses, so measure before you commit. If you found this useful, subscribe so we can keep breaking down how 2026 inference infrastructure actually works under the hood. For structured courses on AI systems, compliance, and the standards behind them, head over to Standarity.com. We will see you in the next one.